Anybody who is familiar with, or not necessarily even familiar with, but if you've heard of prageru, you know that the name is named for its, I guess, founder and owner, um, Dennis Prager, uh, Jewish fella who seems to care a lot about Christians in America and not so much about Jewish communities in America. But that's besides the point. And the point this time is that has a he has a show, a like radio show podcast. Many people do, um, but he said on his show. Let me see if I can find it here. Aha. He said on his show he was critiquing a kindergarten classroom. Classic move for right wingers. They care a lot about the kind of things that little boys and girls are seeing. Particularly, they find anything objectionable that could soil their impressionable little minds. They want it removed from sight and never taught to them again. But this time was not actually one of those moments. It was a little sign that said, "The world is better because you are in it." And to be honest, that is a good message. That is especially to be teaching somebody when they're young, because it shows them that, like, hey, you know, you can have a positive impact. And in fact, sometimes you might not even be aware of the positive impact you're having. You don't know, sometimes just hanging out with somebody could have made their day a little bit better. Certainly when I was that age, I think that sort of stuff was being communicated to me. Maybe not from the whole, like, self-awareness angle, but just the, like, hey, you should do good and you should make a world where people are happy when you're around. That's pretty good, I think. Anyways, Dennis Prager, ever the snowflake, said that no, this is not in fact true. The world is not better because you are in it. Random hypothetical 10-year-old that he was actually referring to. He said that oh, fifth graders do not improve anybody's world simply by existing, which is an affront to any parent that loves their kids, of course, but also is more interesting because it's a massive self-report. This could be reasonably interpreted basically to say that Dennis Prager hates his own children, and he hates children in general. But, think of the kids. Think of the kids, right? That's always the line that you hear until the teachers decide, okay, let's think of the kids. Let's make sure that they feel welcome and accepted, and let's make sure that we're teaching them to be good in the world. And then all of a sudden, right-wingers have a problem with that. Because they're not actually interested in the well-being of children. They're interested in the well-being of their political movement, the propagation of which they ensure by targeting children. Unironically, indoctrination. And the reason I say that is because it's kind of like a similar self-report that I saw a while ago from one of the various, I believe, evangelical churches that said, you should teach your kids the Bible from a young age. You should quite literally, get them while they're young. It's before they have the chance to think critically about the messages that you're telling them. But putting up a sign that says the world is better because you are in it encourages that kind of critical thinking. Because, as a 10-year-old, you might say, oh, okay, I guess that means I'm special. Even at age 10, you don't have the best idea of what that means. But what it more so encourages is to think, okay, why? Why is the world better as a result of me being here? Which then opens the conversation up for a teacher or their parents to say, well, because you can do good in the world, and the world can be a better place when you do good things. Literally the least controversial message that you could feasibly encounter in a classroom. But that's relatively inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, because even on Twitter, even in PragerU's own little Twitter sphere, they get an insanely large amount of pushback, which is good. People ought to be made aware of just how insane these people are. Because they are insane. Man, oh man, are they insane.